Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Nathan makes an arrest. Alexis puts Willow to the test. Sidwell makes an offer. Portia panics. Michael asks Christina for help. Read the last GH recap. Anna makes a demand of her captors. Valentine gets a message too. Charlotte and Drew remembers something at the Q mansion. Michael asks Christina to help him explain to Wiley why his mom married Drew. To soften the blow, Chrissy agrees and notices he's not doing well. He's trying to hide it and brings up Willow's case. He hopes the judge disqualifies her as a mother. He's not sure how to tell Wiley about any of this. You don't. Chrissy says she suggests he tell Wiley the truth, that his mom married Drew and it's up to a judge whether he sees his mother. He can't let his son see him pass judgment on Willow but urges him to reassure his son that he's going nowhere. When Wiley appears, he's told his mommy got married to Drew. He asks if she looks pretty, then worries he's going to have to. Live at Drew's, he doesn't like it there. Michael reassures that this is their home and he never has to leave at Alexis's place. Alexis and Willow disagree on whether she should take the stand. Willow claims she's not the same weak person. As she was on the stand last time, Alexis tells her it's not that simple. Her testimony would need to be perfect. Willow wants to try, concerned she'll lose her kids. Alexis talks up Suzanne's ability to be impartial as a fake juror and they agree to take her through a fox tea. Royal to see how Willow does this time. Under pressure, they begin and Willow talks about the night Drew was shot, that she drove around and was upset hearing the judge was dead. Alexis mentions Wiley being her adopted son. And Willow grits her teeth and says he's still her son, though she didn't give birth. They go over everything. Drew puts a stop to it and they let him gripe before they continue. Willow does well when Alexis brings up Drew's affair, but volunteers that she felt betrayed when she found out about Drew but that she'd never shoot him. Even though she loves him, he's my husband and I need him, she says, flashing to telling Nina she needs him to get her kids back. Alexis stops things and tells her she can't volunteer any of that to the jury. It looks manipulative. She asks for Suzanne's input. Suzanne says she came off as defensive and guilty. Drew has another outburst and Willow tells him to can it. Suzanne goes on to say Willow tried to justify too much, babbled too much and all of this will look terrible to a jury. That said, she came off as loving her kids, but that's her biggest liability. It's obvious she'd do anything for them, including killing someone. At PCPD, Nathan, Justine and Dante discuss Curtis' case. They wonder if Curtis had time to shoot Drew and still meet Jordan at the bar. They talk through the timeline and watch the footage of Curtis entering the bar. The timestamp tracks, but then they notice Curtis with Selena. They note that Curtis lied to them. That's not good for Curtis, Dante says. Knowing they associated in the past, they wonder how the revolver comes in play. In his office, Curtis jumps on a call to plan a nursery. When Nina rushes in to confess she threw Portia under the bus and how he's not impressed she stabbed both of them in the back. Nina tries to explain herself, saying she didn't mean to hurt Portia but had to protect her kid. That doesn't endear her to him. She just ensured his kid will be born in prison. Nina says she hasn't even been questioned yet. Does he think Portia shot Drew? Curtis turns the tables on her. He's not even sure Willow didn't pull the trigger. Nathan interrupts, asks Nina to step out and then arrests Curtis. Isaiah arrives in Portia's office to let him know she has to come clean to Curtis about them. She explains she has a motive to shoot Drew and worries the cops will question her. She flashes to being in his bed and says if it comes off, she'll come clean. She's sorry, but Isaiah understands, though he doesn't think she owes Curtis anything. At Windermere, Pascal offers drinks to BLQ, Lucy and Felicia. Lucy finds the men charming and accommodating, much to Felicia and BLQ's chagrin. Sidwell turns up, surprised to find Felicia at the meeting. He thought it was for shareholders. She's there on Maxie's behalf. Brooklyn wants the company to thrive by the time Maxie wakes up, which is why they didn't delay the meeting. They get down to it. He tells them he wants to sell them his zincite at cost. Any of the minerals, he corrects. for a significantly lower amount. Lucy likes it. It'll lower production costs. Sidwell reveals he bought the peers, causing shocked looks all around. BLQ wonders how Sonny could have given them up when he was so against it. Sidwell shrugs. Everyone has their price. He wants the materials to be under his supervision. This tests BLQ, but in the end, she agrees that he's only trying to save Deception. They agree to the deal, and once they're gone, Sidwell calls Lucy vital to him. He pulls her in for an awkward surprise kiss. In captivity, Anna yells at her captors through a two-way mirror to tell her what they want when they ignore her. She reads a decrypted notebook that reads, "Faison will get you out soon." She reads the names of Brett Westburn and Nathan West on another sheet of paper, then flashes to telling Dante about two of Faison's children resurfacing. She writes that they resurfaced within a month, considering that important. She thinks about being put out with chloroform and being cuffed to the chair, being blindfolded and drugged again before waking up in transit. She muses that she was in a truck or bus, then on water. She writes that down and wonders how long she was drugged and where she is. She keeps writing in her notebook until a man speaking French comes over the PA, asking her to put the pencil down and turn around against the wall, hands behind her back. She complies, and in walks Pascal with macarons. Portia arrives at Curtis' office as Nathan drags Curtis in cuffs down to PCPD. He asks her to call his lawyer. She worries. At PCPD, Justine brings Curtis into interrogation and says there are serious gaps in his story for the night Kane was shot. Curtis refuses to talk, so Justine shows him the photo of Selena. They know she was there that night, and he's booked for making a false statement and for obstruction of justice. Nina rushes into Alexis's house to tell the room that Willow won't have to testify, that they arrested Curtis back at the hospital. A worried Portia calls Isaiah into her office again to tell him about the arrest. She's clearly agitated. She blames herself and then starts cramping and doubles over in pain. Subscribe to Soap Spoilers newsletter.